Creating a text-based culture is the first unit at 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Each of these units takes a slightly different approach, especially in their approach to writing, but their overall objective is the same. These units are intended to get independent reading and writing habits off to a strong start at the beginning of the school year. One of the first things students do is begin working with their literacy notebook. This notebook will be used throughout the school year as a place to collect student writing and reflection. It doesn't have to be anything fancier than a marble cover composition notebook, but of course you can set this up any way you like, including digitally. Once students set up and personalize their notebooks, they're ready to begin. At each grade level, the first section of the unit includes several sessions dedicated to helping students develop their reading lives and independent reading habits. These sessions include tips for navigating common problems, methods for sorting and interviewing new books, and ways of responding to books and sharing your thoughts with others. Students write recommendations or reviews, and you may choose to have students write reading letters over the course of the school year. Unique to this unit is also the incorporation of a shared reading text. Now, the text selection is left entirely up to the teacher, but you'll want something ideally that's highly engaging and that you have a class set of, and the work with the shared reading in this unit is intended to give you an opportunity to model some of the strategies that you're discussing with students in each class period. I want to emphasize that, especially with the reading portion of this unit, these habits are intended to be carried on throughout the school year. So this isn't just 10 sessions of trying to set up independent reading that you never come back to in the classroom. It's meant to set up the kinds of things that you can do throughout the year to help students maintain their independent reading practices. So we typically set aside the first 10 minutes of each session for independent reading, and you'll find things like the book pass and the reading log and the reading letters to be helpful throughout the year, as well as the work around setting reading goals and checking in on them periodically. As for the shared reading work, it's up to you how much you wish to continue to incorporate that moving forward. Upcoming units will involve a lot of close reading of shared texts, which becomes the primary focus of the class period. For the writing section of this work, I'll share a little bit about each grade level individually. The focus of the 6th grade work is really on getting students writing regularly, and this includes opportunities for students to write about their own experiences. In this first writing session, students listen to a short example of oral storytelling from StoryCorps, and they think about the kinds of things that writers write about. They start coming up with ideas and sketching quick writes, and this builds in the following sessions with exercises focused on building writing stamina with timed writing exercises, looking at the style and structure of another writer for inspiration, and further work around both the how and the what of writing. There are some short texts associated with this work, but at this point students aren't expected to do a significant amount of interpretation or deep reading with these. Rather, they're intended to function as springboards for students' own storytelling work. The 7th grade writing sessions begin with a quick discussion of genre and the chance for students to begin writing in the genre of their choosing. Over the next several sessions, students read brief selections from different writers, either giving writing advice or writing about their own process. There's time to unpack what each writer is saying and think about how it might apply to the work they're creating. And toward the end of the unit, the teacher introduces the idea of preparing and submitting a piece for publication at some point over the course of the semester. The 8th grade unit offers a lot of interesting opportunities for development. Here, students read stories exemplifying different points of view and consider what point of view both reveals and conceals from the reader. They get to try out each approach in their own writing and share their work with peers. Students also consider what it means to mimic an author's style and why one might try that as a form of practice. The appendix to the 8th grade unit also offers 2 further paths that the teacher can choose to explore with students. One of these is the author study, and one of these is the independent writing project. The author study sessions lay out a course of work in which students closely examine the work of a favorite author of their choosing and consider what defines that author's style, noting examples from their texts and occasionally completing their own mimicking exercises. The independent writing project, similar to 7th grade's work, sets up some ways for students to plan and set goals around specific writing projects that they will later submit as final revised products. So once again, all 3 grade levels spend the first unit reacquainting students with essential reading and writing habits and offering new ways to develop them. Students create their literacy notebook, set goals for reading and writing, and practice key strategies. At the conclusion of the unit, teachers who are interested in creating student portfolios for use over the course of the school year will find a note about getting those started, and more information can be found in the correctness guide. As always, if you're preparing to teach this unit for the first time, we recommend that you review the introduction to the unit in the guidebook, that you examine the tasks students are asked to complete over the course of the unit, and that you read through the text in the student reader in advance. Think about the connections between the texts and the work students are asked to complete with them, discuss them with your peers if possible, and identify for yourself any exercises that you especially want to focus on or assess. These units are a wonderful way to begin the school year, and we hope you and your students enjoy them.